Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. Hope you're all doing well, hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey or reading that backlog of books on your bookshelf. Today we've got another Black Library review for you, and this one is about Hammerhal and Other Stories by Josh Reynolds and various other authors. Pardon me. Today though, we're going to look at one particular story within this, and that's going to be the main novella that starts this story, and that is the Hammerhal story. So, what this story sort of features, this is probably about the first half of the book, maybe first third and a bit, I would say, but the vast majority of the book is this novella. And so, it's a story about a Chaos Tzeentch cult infiltrating Hammerhal Gira and them having to fight it back from both within and without. On the outside of the city, we have a artillery train along with some Stormcast Eternals travelling through the forest, and they get ambushed by some beastmen. And inside the city we have this insidious chaos cult that are trying to destroy the city from within, and they are being attempted to be thwarted by a witch hunter and a knight Veritant. What's really cool about this, and I guess some of the characters in the story, is we have a cool little retinue for the witch hunter in this, which is, first of all, let's introduce the witch hunter. His name is Gage, and he's a witch hunter, obviously. He also has his two companions, Kuva, who is a Lion Ranger elf, this big, broad, strong, powerful female elf character, and Bryn, who is a dwarven, very broad and very strong character as well. We then obviously have Karis, I think it's Karis. Sorry if I got that wrong. And he is the Lord Veritant of the Hallowed Knights, and he has this cool little Gryph-hound called Zephyr. These characters attempt to move throughout the city, and they are probably the more focal point than the ones on the outside of the city, and they sort of weave in and out and do a whole bunch of stuff within the city trying to uncover this chaos plot. They know there's a chaos plot going on, and they're trying to find it and get it at its roots. So I guess talking about my favourite character, it's a tough one in this. I really like Gage, but for me, it's got to be Kuva. She's a Lion Ranger warrior, and it's really cool just seeing a very different sort of character portrayed in this story. Of course, those might remember that White Lions went out of production. However, in the books that we talk about in the RPG, it's mentioned that things like Swiftwalker agents and Lion Rangers and all that still exist. There's just not enough of them to make up full armies anymore, which is pretty cool. But she's a Lion Ranger that works for Gage, and sort of is just this powerful fighting figure that's really strong and can handle her own. It's just a really cool character. I mean, and it's an elf for me, so basically, favourite character sort of bias, I guess, a bit there. It's an elf. The characters definitely do feel real. There's a really great sort of kinship between Kuva, Bryn, who's the Dwarven, and Gage, who is the witch hunter, and they all sort of share this nice little bond together. That maybe more than just, I guess, the fact they're work colleagues, they actually are friends. The story does keep you guessing. There's some really nice little plot turns throughout the story, and sort of tells you all these different things as we go on and on. And while it does end maybe a little bit prematurely, which is sadly the thing that happens with some of these shorter novella stories, is it just does keep you guessing properly. My favourite part of the book, there are some really great fight scenes where all these main characters within the city are definitely sort of getting in their own in all these different little fights, and it really sprawls out quite well and details everyone's different fights, mainly pointed from Gage's perspective, but you can see all these other characters fighting out the corner of his eyes, and it really does well at describing that. Things that make me feel strongly, like there's some really cool Stormcast and human interaction scenes outside of the city, especially at the beginning of the book, which I think are really cool. They just give you that sense of humanity about the Stormcast and how they actually do care. They're not, I guess, Space Marine like where they're no longer human. I guess when we talk about Stormcast, their biggest flaw is that they're actually still human at their core, and that is their biggest weakness. Emotions that you feel, like you really do feel that kinship and bonding between all the characters within the city, and you also feel that level of care and, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know the word I'm looking for. How the Stormcast outside the city, Hallowed Knights, are very devout in their role to protect humanity, that they still feel part of humanity, that they must protect humanity, humanity must endure. That goodness about them is something you really feel strongly within this book. Definitely did keep me going page to page. I guess it might start out a little bit slow in the early parts, but it really does pick up in the ends. Much like these novellas, if they start slow, they generally tend to pick up quite quickly, just because they obviously end quite abruptly. Things I disliked about this book, I mean, it's a novella. I wish the story was expanded more and had more time to showcase a lot of these characters. That's, I guess, sort of the flaw of many of these books, but, you know, that's what it is. It is what it is with these stories. They're made to be a certain thing. Doesn't mean I can't want, I guess, a longer version of this story. All in all, though, like, these books are really great to get in for people getting started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar. I do think this one is probably not the best starting point. I do think Sacrosanct does it a little bit better than this one, which is the more recent one than Hammerhal and other stories, but definitely this one is great for some beginners and has some really cool stories. Not to mention, the other half of this book is full of short stories by a multitude of different authors, which is really cool. And you can check out other stories by the likes of Matt Westbrook, Josh Reynolds has other stories in there, David Geimer, Robbie McNiven, David Annandale, C.L. Werner, just to name a few, and Josh Reynolds has a few other stories in there, as mentioned before. All in all, though, I really do like this book. I think the stories in there, it gives you other plots that you can go follow off reading the second parts of the stories, which both this and the Sacrosanct and other stories do really well. So I'm going to give it a solid 6 out of 8 Realm Stones. It does a great job at setting you up and being able to go and find other parts of the Warhammer Age of Sigmar lore to learn about. So we hope you enjoyed the video. If there's any Black Library books you'd like us to review in the future, please do let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget also to like the video and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all the Black Library reviews that we do in the future. A special thank you to all the people who support the channel on Patreon. You're all fantastic people. Thank you so much to our Sinful Guard Militia, Christian Weir, Philip Ward, Chaos Spawn and Soren, and our Sinful Free Guild Regiment members James and AJC. Thank you so much for your additional support for the channel. If you'd also like to help more and support the channel on Patreon, you can do so by following the link down in the description of the video down below. Lastly, in the description as well, you'll find a link to our Discord server where you can come in and make your requests even more heard about what you'd like to see us review from Black Library over there. But also, you can come chat with me and other members of our fantastic community there. But that's it for today, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the video. Once again, stay safe, stay well. Most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. And also, read those books on your goddamn shelf.